Today on the program, my first Roggenbier. It is a historic style that used to be more common, but it sounds like when the Reinheitsgebot came into popularity or was adopted, it dialed back because it contained rye, which was not one of the 4 ingredients. And in recent times, modern day brewers have revived the style. Now, the style, as I understand it, and as I was doing some reading, to be a Roggenbier, it should be at least 50% rye. It could be greater, but at least 50%. Many of these beers, and I don't know if it is all of them to be a straight-up Roggenbier, actually use the Hefeweizen yeast, or a Weizen yeast. That works out well for me, because I just made a Hefeweizen, and in another video you will see I did some top cropping, and I have, I don't know if this is solid yeast in the way that it would be when I wash it, but it's definitely a lot of yeast, and I'm pretty confident that it should be more than enough to ferment a 1050 beer. So, what else? This person named Alan Wolf wrote about Roggenbier on craftbeer.com. I just wanted to read a little something that he wrote that I thought I appreciated. He says, "There's nothing more exciting in the world of craft beer than being able to revive a centuries-old recipe and experience the aromas and flavors and other sensory stimuli that come with it." Then he also says, "Roggenbier is a message in a bottle, timelessness in a glass. I suggest you try one." So the idea is recreating something that if modern brewers wouldn't have recreated it, and if you couldn't go buy a commercial strain here and there, or example, you might be one of the few people that are doing it. So I think that's cool. That's one thing that we like about brewing. My recipe is pretty simple. I have 50% rye and I have 50% two-row. That number is not 100% accurate because I'm putting in a very small amount. I'm putting in 4 ounces of this Perla Negra, mostly just for color. I have this Hefeweizen that is going to be about the same gravity, same yeast, same kind of beer, except that had 50% wheat instead of 50% rye, and I thought, why not have one be a little bit darker? Plus I have a couple samples of this malt. So yeah, I got the grain is in here. I've got my other grain. That's just going to be, this is going to be the same hop as I did for the Hefe, just 1 ounce of bittering. And we're going to brew it up and get it fermenting and see how it goes. One other note, I think I fermented the Hefe quite warm to try to push the banana character. And so far, I think I have more banana and less clove in this beer than any other Hefe I've made. I'm going to do a taste testing with some friends here in a couple days, and there will be a video on that. There may already be a video on that by the time this one's out. But I don't want that in this rye beer, so I'm going to ferment it more reasonable temps, not up to 80, probably in the lower 70s. Let's see how it goes. So this beer is coming in 1046-ish. 1046, 1047, I'll get a reading and report back. I got just about 5 gallons. I'm not going to do any special aeration other than what I did is I pour it through I had a strainer in there, but I'm just going to go with that for the aeration. The Hefe attenuated pretty well just doing that. And now the other thing I'm going to do, I might put some firm cap in there because I'm going to do a closed fermentation, use a blow-off tube, and this stuff can throw a lot of krausen, so I might minimize the loss. But I'm just going to, maybe I'll drain off a little bit of this liquid, but otherwise, this is my top cropped yeast. I've never used this stuff before. It looks like a lot of yeast, maybe more than I need, but I'm just going to dump it in and see what happens. The 4 ounces of the Perla Negra did give it a little bit of a darker color, and also the rye maybe was a little bit darker, but if you've ever seen a Roggenbier, they can have kind of a brownish color. So I guess I wasn't really trying to nail that type of thing, but it is a little bit darker, but I think that'll be nice. It'll be a fairly, you know, medium to low medium gravity beer, and see how fast this yeast takes off. So this is almost 2 hours only after pitching. There's not a lot of visible activity on the top, except for maybe over here, but it's already bubbling, which is pretty good for just throwing in some top cropped yeast, so I think it is on its way. So this is 4.5 hours after pitching the yeast, no starter, just the top cropped yeast in those jars. 4.5 hours, and it's already ripping and rolling. It's gonna be 74 degrees, which I'm hoping it will just sort of stay around there. I don't have a shirt on it. It's in a room that's 70, so I'm okay with 74. I don't really want to do much to try to make it cooler, but there she goes. She is off and running. Can't tell for sure, but it looks like this Roggenbier is about 10:08. I'll get a good look at it. Last night I had fun chatting with a viewer, Touch of Smoke. What's up, dude? And we were kind of following along with the recent fish show that we got going on. It's there you go. Anyway, Alpharetta. Yeah, so that was fun. So I'm gonna pour this into a glass and get my first taste. I'm kegging it off. It's been 2 weeks since brew day. It did ferment a little bit warmer than I had hoped, but you know, like 75, 76. I kind of wanted it a little cooler, but see what this thing tastes like. Tube. So I'm calling it 1.009. And what's interesting is there is a little bit of banana in the nose, which you would expect, but there isn't a strong flavor really one way or another. It's just sort of mild, actually. I mean, if I knew no better, and there would be the banana, but almost like, I just thought of it, but like the color and kind of the flavor, it just kind of tastes like a mild, I mean, just like a brownish beer with not a lot of strong character. Now that's not necessarily a bad thing. It means it's going to be easy to drink, and we'll definitely see if the carbonation and cooler temps bring forward any more characteristics, and I'll have to find the rye. I mean, there's a ton of rye in here, so interesting first taste, but we'll see how it comes out.
Look at a picture.
We are here in Chip's backyard once again.
Oh, so meta.
We're gonna taste the Roggenbier. Ooh, look at that. This is some high-tech wizardry, ladies and gentlemen.
That pop was loud. You okay? Break a kneecap?
Huh? Oh, that's just my back. Don't you worry about it. All right, so the Roggenbier.
Was it open-ish like this was?
No.
Okay, closed.
Closed fermentation. Temperatures were slightly cooler than the Hefe. So, is there less banana? Is there not less banana? TBD. It was kegged 22 days ago. It went from 1048 to 1.009. It has a 1/4 pound of the Perla Negra. That's how you get the color. So basically,
1/4 pound. That's
now
cool.
what could have been interesting if I would not have used a little bit of the dark grain is the rye in and of itself darker than the pale wheat that I used. Damn, double cheers. I don't know. You know what I mean? Like if I wanted to use that, would these be very similar in color? They would have been more similar. Who needs it? We don't need it.
I got you.
I don't want to drink that. That's the wrong one, son.
Oh, we're not.
But this is my first ever Roggenbier. You're gonna stick it under some of the gun right there. There it goes, son.
I get production assistant credit.
I think you can smell a little bit of rye, whatever rye smells like.
Mm-hmm.
People
It's like
say
it's got
icy,
a little bit of spices into
Ready.
it, but it's not. It's not like black pepper.
black
It's not
pepper.
like black pepper. To
not
me,
pu-
it's kind of toasty, like toasty and banana.
Yeah.
The
Yeah.
banana's definitely there, which is cool. Not as much
Yeah.
as the hef, for multiple reasons. It's the second time you're using the yeast. It's closed. It's cooler, but I get enough of it that I like. If it was more, it would kind of like not make sense. It would knock it out of balance.
I wonder if it was fermenting more like 70F instead of 74, 75, if it would have been having a little more clove.
So what is the difference between a Dunkelweiss and this?
Well, Dunkelweiss means dark and wheat, I think. This
What
is
is
rye. This is not wheat. This is rye.
Oh, at all.
No wheat.
I was thinking it was the Hefeweizen plus the Perla Negra.
Nope. It's 5 pounds malted rye, 5 pounds two roll.
In your face.
Yeah. No
So, but
wheat.
kind of like rye in the place of wheat. So it's a Dunkelweizen. In your face, world.
Sure.
I gotcha.
Yes, it's a Roggenbier. It's a rye. Actually, I don't know what Rogan means, but
It's like a pastry porter. In the parlance of our time.
Paul said it was the Heffa was like banana cream pie or something. This is like a
Banana
toasted
creme
caramel-
brulee.
toasted caramel banana pie.
Oh, it's really cool though. I get enough of that banana that it makes it that Weizen-y kind of feel. Huh, the rye and the Perla Negra. A dark rye beer?
Yeah, and also the point of this experiment was using the top cropped yeast. That is so hard for me to say, people, ladies and gentlemen. Top crop.
Top crop.
Tube top. I can say that.
I know.
From this beer, which you saw the video, I used it in there. People ask me, "What are you gonna do with that top crop yeast?" I'm like, "Stay tuned, y'all. Just sit tight. It's right here."
And you have more of it too though.
No, I used it all.
Oh, you only did one wash, like a jar?
I just scooped it, the foam, put it in the jars, and I had a jar of foam, and it settled down to like yay much yeast. And I had a couple of those jars. Dumped it in this thing. This thing was off in no time.
Oh, you did both jars into this
Yeah,
just to
yeah,
like
yeah.
make sure. It's
I wasn't
healthy.
gonna make multiple Hefeweizen type.
I like
beers.
this a lot.
Yeah.
It's kind of cereal-y. Chocolate, a little bit roasty, yeah. Caramel though, but not caramel in the way that like sea malts are caramel and then heavy. It's just like
It's like
caramel.
it's like nutty too.
Yeah.
It's almost like a dryish brown ale. I mean, there's a toasted nuttiness to it. Did you say toasted earlier?
Probably.
Yeah, he's toasted. Actually, this is our first beer together.
I don't know what
I
you're
don't know what
talking
he's been on. Anyway, Roggenbier for the people. I'm glad I made it. It's fun to try.
This would be a good fall beer, like late, exactly where it's falling, but maybe even like a month later. Like make it now when you see Don's video, because the first it's almost like this could be Oktoberfest.
Yeah.
Time of enjoying.
You
also
always-
have an Oktoberfest on.
You always like to think of like this beer would be good
Well, yeah.
in this setting. Like
It's nice right now because it's
not good now,
The sun's
but-
finally gone down. It's dropped about 10 degrees. And now I'm feeling this beer. If we had drank this earlier when it was 83 and beaten down, I'd be like, "Can I have more of this, please?" Do you think that's psychological? Should this video go there? Is that too deep? Is the appearance
Yes.
of beer psychological on your enjoyment factor?
Oh sure, definitely. You can drink with your eyes to some degree. But yeah, I like the color. Anyway, wow,
Good job.
This is the first video too of
Way to-
at least a couple.
And that's Stefan, right?
It was fun to the Imperial
Stefan. Man, that's cool.
Weihenstephaner
Let's keep-
origin. So yeah, you can top crop, you can make a beer, you can make a Roggenbier, you can drink it, you can enjoy it,
in the backyard.
and there you go. I think that's it. Now on to the next video. Catch you later.